Well, how is it going, you guys? All right, we're canning carrots today. I promised you guys that when I canned my carrots up, I would bring you along. And some of you wanted to see baby carrots canned. Some of you wanted to see little baby mini carrots being canned. So I just decided I'm gonna do it both ways for you and show you both ways. Now, I'm gonna spin you around. I'm gonna show you what I got here. Okay, so I went ahead and I took some of the baby carrots and I just chunked them up. My baby carrots, I was able to get 68 cents a bag, so that's why I'm canning it. It goes back to the question that makes every canning queen and king cringe. Does canning save you money? Of course it does, because of opportunities like this. So I was able to pick up some bags of carrots for 68 cents a piece, and I don't know if I'm ever going to see that sale price again, so I'm canning it. So I went ahead and I decided to do it both ways. I cut it up for you guys. I'm also going to be canning some baby sized carrots. We're going to see how many jars we can fill with this. This is 4 bags that I went ahead and I sliced them up in either 4 or 5 pieces, depending on the size of the carrot. I am going to be using some onion soup mix. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, oh, Heather, that's not approved. No, it's not. But I'm not here to teach you how to can. I'm here to inspire you to can. So, I find nothing wrong with this. Of course, if this bothers you, you do not have to can your carrots in onion soup. You can go ahead and can your carrots in water. You can add salt to it. You can leave them plain. It's totally up to you. Sometimes I add some peppercorns to mine along with some of this onion soup. What I do is I put, I get it from Aldi. Let me see if I still have them. Here, I will show you in my pantry. This is what I'm using. So I water mine down. So I put a couple envelopes in, water it down, but it does give it such a great flavor when you can with it. It's one of my favorite things to can with. So that's what I did. I brought it up to a boil. And then that's what I'm going to use. Now, when I run out of this, I'm just going to go ahead and use water. So we'll see how far I can get. Today, I'm not using pints or quarts. I'm using pint and a half jars. Of course, pint and a half jars are going to be processed like quarts. So when we use our time, we're going to be using the time for quarts. I went ahead and washed my lids and my rings. I also washed my jars. Okay, very important. Cleanliness, they say cleanliness is next to godliness, right? You want to make sure everything is super clean. Don't take any chances using something that's been sitting on your shelf for, 6 months. Wash everything. Give everything a good, hot, soapy wash. And be as clean as you can. It doesn't, it's only a good thing to be clean, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to set you guys up. I'm going to try to figure out where I'm going to put the camera. I'm using All American canners. I've got my 921 and my 915. And I'm going to put just, I already went ahead and put 3 inches, about 2.5 inches of water in them. I'm going to add just a little plop of vinegar in each one. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill a little dish here to wipe my rims with. All right, so I'm going to get you set up and we're going to get started. Guys, so hopefully you guys can see everything here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start filling up our jars. Of course, make sure your hands are very clean. Carrots come washed, but I wash them again anyway under cold water. I just want everything as clean as possible. All right, so we're going to go ahead and fill our jar. We're going to fill it to 1 inch headspace here. And then if we can add a couple of extra, we will. Right. And then we're going to go ahead and add our funnel. And then give this a nice mix. So I want some of that onion in here. Again, we're going to fill this to 1 inch headspace. Okay. We're going to rest that. Now we're going to debubble. Okay. Make sure that there's no air pockets in there. Get those onions mixed down. Again, you do not have to use the onion soup mix if you don't want to. All right, that looks beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and spin this around so you guys can have a good look at that. So you want to get down to eye level to really be able to see that 1-inch space. And that looks perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and dip in our vinegar. Clean our rim. Okay. Lid on. Ring on. Again, I wash my lids and my rings in hot soapy water, and then I set it in really hot water while I set everything up. And there you have it. All right, so in the canner it goes. Let's do another one together. Now these little cup ones are perfect for chicken pot pie, homemade chicken pot pie using your pantry items. You can do chicken pot pie with home canned veggies. Yes, you can. And it's delicious. Okay, I'm gonna put a couple more in there. This is where you can play Tetris. I'm trying to get it all in there. Fit a couple more. I also just crack a jar open and heat it up and serve it as a side dish. I know I'm gonna get asked if the canning process cooks the carrots. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So they will be soft. But that also means that you can crack a jar open just like you would do a can that you bought at the store, a can of carrots, and warm them up quickly. You don't have to sit there and cook them. They're already cooked. So, all right, let me do a tad bit more here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and debubble. Get it all the way down there, all around the edges. In the center, you want to make sure you get every air pocket that might be there. Now my carrots have been sitting out in room temperature, and then I did wash them with cold water. My soup is hot, so the water in my canner is warm. It's not super hot. You just don't want to shock your jars. So, but again, I'm not here to teach you how to can. I'm here just to inspire you. Okay. Pick up a ball blue book if this is something that you want to learn to do. And for those of you who already know how to can, well, I hope this inspires you to give this one a try. All right, we'll do one more together, and then I will keep canning these cut carrots. Oh, there goes a couple of casualties my dog will eat. I hope this does inspire you to give this a try. I'm going to keep going and can up all these cut carrots, and then I will bring you guys back when we get to the canning the carrots as, you know, baby carrots. I'll probably fit a couple more in here. Okay. And make sure you get some of those onions in there if you end up using the onion soup mix. ahead and debubble. Okay, check that headspace. Okay. Fingertip tight. And here's jar number 3. All right, guys, I'm going to keep going, and we'll bring you back when I get to the half carrots, or the whole baby carrots. And now we're going to go ahead and, again, I went ahead and washed my carrots. I'm going to go ahead and add these in. Just like this. As many in there as we can. Now, when I go to use this, I will warm these carrots up right in the onion stock here. You can make homemade onion stock too if you wanted, just like I can. By the way, I didn't know I never made like a video on how I actually make my onion stock. So I've only made videos on how I can it. So next time I make onion stock, which I make it all the time because I use it all the time, I will film it for you guys, I promise, and show you guys exactly how I make it, so you guys can see that. So, all right, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and debubble. Start pushing down those onions. So I will re-warm this right in the stock here. You can also drain the stock and actually use it to make a gravy. If you were going to make like a beef pot pie or beef tips and gravy over egg noodles, and you wanted to put some carrots in it, you could use this as your base to your homemade gravy. Be fantastic. And again, if you are not comfortable using onion soup base, watered down, don't use it. Go ahead and just use water, because I can carrots in water all the time. So one of the questions I got was, Heather, do you have to grow your own in order to can? No, you do not. And I will say that till I'm blue in the face, because you can be an urban homesteader. An urban homesteader might not have room to do a whole big garden. There you go. Bigger carrots. Oh, so good. This, I like using the bigger carrots for side dish, and I like to use the little sliced carrots for pot pies. Or in my soups. Well, I can't really say that, because sometimes I like bigger carrots in my soup too. So, but food security is food security. Get that food any way you can and preserve it any way you know how. And that means if that's canning, if that's dehydrating, if that's freezing, do it. Somebody asked me about a freeze dryer. You know, I have no desire to learn how to do that. I know somebody was in the market and looking at, indecisive whether or not to get one. I know Linda's Pantry had looked into one. And I want to say that she said it was so expensive, and then it's expensive to like run. I'm not sure what you have to buy for it in order to keep it running. But I would go over there to Linda's Pantry and ask her opinion on freeze-dried food. I mean, doing it yourself, getting a freeze dryer and doing it yourself. I am not knowledgeable in that. I've never looked into it myself personally, just because I've never had a desire or a need to do it. I honestly, between canning and dehydrating and freezing, I've got my bases covered, honestly. So, but if that's something you're interested in, I would definitely look at some other YouTubers that have some experience in that. I do not. So, I'm trying to think of some of the other questions I got in that last question and answer video I did. But going back to buying, you know, whether you have to buy it at a grocery store, whether you have to buy it at a farmer's market, or whether you grow it yourself, you know, not all of us have, you know, acres of land to, you know, be able to can a year's worth of food, plus eat it, you know, while you're growing it. So, I say don't let that discourage you from canning, just because you can't garden. You know, for the longest time, we lived in a rental home. You know, we were really, I'll never say poor, but I'll say broke. Because I think poor is a mindset, a state of mind. But we were broke. I mean, we were really living in poverty for a while. And so canning was essential for me to be able to buy things on sale and preserve it so we could eat it at a sale price. You know, you can't pass up a sale. You know, when you're living, you know, literally paycheck to paycheck. So this helped me feed my family, learning this life skill. It is a life skill, and it's an important one, in my opinion, for food security and safety. So that's why I make these videos, because I just want to encourage those of you who have been on the fence, those of you who really want to do this but are intimidated. You know, don't let fear be the boss of you. Don't ever let fear dictate what you end up doing, because look where this brought me. I never thought in a million years I would turn a YouTube channel into my journey, sharing my process along the way of learning all of these things. And just by watching me learn, many of you have learned, and that is what it's all about, you know. Just passing that baton to one another, lifting each other up. That's what it's all about, you guys. Especially now. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. Trust me. I'm a city girl from Detroit. I never in a million years, you know, thought that I would be here, you know, canning, dehydrating, gardening, living on acreage, preparing for chickens. I mean, what is my life right now? It's literally living a dream. 6 years ago, you know, it was a completely different story. So anyway, I won't bore you guys with that, but I do hope that this makes you want to can and can carrots. All right, let's get this jar full here. And there we go. I'm going to keep going here. I know some of you guys like it when I babble on and on. I thank each and every one of you who watch me and tune in to just watch me do these things. It's incredibly humbling. And, you know, I like the company. So, hopefully you're drinking a nice hot cup of coffee while you're watching this. And yeah. I did get some questions about my pantry and about meal planning. Now, if that is a topic you guys want me to touch on, let me know. I'm going to take a little bit off of here. I do what I think what people refer to as, and I got to grab some more vinegar, as backwards meal planning. I think that's what some people call it. I don't make a meal plan and then go shopping. Okay, that's not how, in my opinion, you save money. I shop sales, I shop bulk, and then from there, I make my meal plan. And I shop my pantry as if it were a grocery store. And so that's what saves me the most money. When we lived in town, where we had a Kroger, I used to shop the Kroger sales paper. I've made videos on this. I only bought things that were on sale. So if there was something, you know, unless there was something I really needed, like a spice or something like that. But pretty much only shop the sales. And then that way you're never eating at full price. And that's how I was able to make ends meet when we had very little to no money. And so building a pantry, and this goes back to having a good rotating full pantry, I can make anything in my pantry. I just have to make sure that I have all the staples. So much, and that's why I'm an ingredient canner more than, like, you know, you guys don't see me do a lot of soups, stews, or anything like that in my canning. I like to can staples, and then that way I can pull this jar and I can do 10 different meals with it. I'm not locked into a soup or a stew. Or something with flavor, a lot of flavor. I like to be able to use it as a staple rather than a meal. So you guys don't really see me can meals, and that's why. I know some of you have asked me, you know, if I can this, if I can that. I really don't. I can tomatoes, I can carrots, I can green beans, I can mushrooms, I can asparagus, I can beef alone, I can chicken alone, I can potatoes alone. This way I can pull it from my shelf and I can turn it into anything that I want to turn it into without being tied to anything. And that's just what works for me. So, all right, I've got 3 more jars here. And so I'm going to get these canned up. I'm going to stop babbling. Otherwise, this video is going to be an hour long. So I have 2 canners full. Let's try to say that fast 3 times. 2 canners full of carrots. 1 sliced and 1 baby carrots. Now, if you're not comfortable canning the baby carrot size, don't do it. Cut them, slice them up, cube them up, you know, dice them up. Do your own research, do your own homework, do what you're comfortable with. Again, I'm not teaching you how to can, I'm just showing you how I do and taking you along for the ride. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lids on these. I'm gonna process these for 30 minutes. I'm gonna do them for the time of quarts because we are doing 1.5 pint size. And when they are all done, I will bring these back and I will show you guys what they look like. They're on the heat. Now I have to go ahead and clean up my mess. All right, guys. Smells amazing in my house, I have to say. go. The carrots cool down, they'll settle to the bottom. I did what they call a raw pack method. And they look beautiful. I'm so happy. Guys, so there you have it. Nice, beautiful results here. And all right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, canning some carrots up. And yeah, I'll be seeing you soon. If you have any questions, leave them down below for me. I will try my very best to answer them for you. But I'll be seeing you guys soon. All right, bye guys.